Hello, everyone, and welcome to this episode of Your Business in HD. My name is Jen Dice. I'm a human design coach and marketing strategist for entrepreneurs. So welcome. We're going to chat today all about how to create a marketing system that you're actually excited to show up for using your human design. So if you guys are hopping on live, hashtag live, if you're going to catch this, if you're on the replay with me, hashtag replay. Thank you so much for joining me. So raise your hand if you have ever kind of asked yourself or thought this question to yourself. How do I actually market my business when I'm just completely bored with my marketing? Like, how do I actually show up when I'm totally bored? I'm burned out, or I just don't have this, I'm just not excited about it. So or I'm feeling this resistance and I just don't want to do it. How do you continue to be visible, make new connections, and continue to build relationships to market your business in a way that works for you? But how do you do that when you're currently bored with it? So if you have felt this way, maybe you're currently feeling this way, this is a question I get a lot from not just one client, but this is something I've heard many, especially of us online entrepreneurs or business owners have as a problem, because many of us, we are busy business owners. You need something simple to implement, but yet at the same time, something that's not going to feel monotonous to you, something that's not going to feel give you this feeling of I have to get this done. There's a lot of pressure to do these things, but at the same point in time, I just don't really like what I'm doing. It doesn't feel like a really good fit for me. And so the problem with that way of most of us doing this marketing in a way of we're handed a strategy, somebody else helps us craft a strategy, or we pick up somebody else's strategy and start to implement it, is if it's not something that fully resonates with us, or if there's pieces and parts of that strategy that don't really work for us or who you are, that could lead to more inconsistency, number one, in your marketing. And then ultimately, down the line could contribute to inconsistent results with the clients that you're bringing in, with the new connections that you're making, and with the growth of your business. And so what is the solution to that? So, a lot of times it's you think we get handed this marketing system or this checklist or this strategy that somebody else created, it's a proven system and it's worked for other people. It's worked for the person that created it. And you're trying to have the same results, get the same amount of success implementing somebody else's system. That's not always it's not always something that's going to work for every single person, but it doesn't necessarily mean that there's a problem with you. Many of us feel that way when we don't recreate the same results that somebody else is getting with the exact same system. We tend to put all that weight on our own shoulders, but it's not you. And it's also not the system at the same time, because the system is proven, the strategy is working. There are documented results in other businesses out there. So then what is the solution when it's not me? It's not the system. How can I, what do I do from here then? And so the solution is really working through and actually diving into uncovering and getting a little bit more clear about who you are through the processes and the systems that I typically work through with my clients using their human design. And that from those key pieces of information, able to give yourself that permission and that freedom to create that system and that marketing plan that really works for you, resonates with you, and feels good to you. And so the results of that, if you can imagine, when you are able to create something like that, you're able to wake up feeling with that less amount of pressure. You're able to wake up feeling lighter, a little bit more free, and the ability to actually be excited for the work you get to do. The marketing seems so much more simple. It's marketing that it's a flow that you can just step into because it works with you. It's how you're designed to show up and put your business out there and put yourself out there. And this can apply across the board to all different types of the marketing that you're doing, the content that you're creating, how you're showing up in the marketing that you're doing, the connections that you're making, the community that you're building across the board. When you figure out a little bit more about how you're designed to do those things, it just gives you so much more clarity on these are the things that really make sense to me and resonate with me. So we're going to talk about this a little bit. And so again, if you are hopping on live, hashtag live, if you're catching the replay, hashtag replay. So if you're brand new to me and brand new to who I am, just a quick intro to just to intro myself a little bit. So if we have not yet met, my name is Jen Dice. I am a marketing strategist and human design coach for entrepreneurs. And I help women in business get crystal clear on who they are so they can amplify their impact and create that hell yes business and life that we all are seeking. And I had 2 years in a Pinterest marketing company that I ran. And this was something that I kept seeing over and over again from the marketing strategy point. Too many women in business, too many of us relying 100% on the strategy and discounting who we are and what makes us unique and how we're designed to actually show up and implement the strategy or create the strategy. So, with that gap of really focusing too heavily on the strategy and not enough on what actually works for you, like that is the gap that pulling pieces of your human design and infusing them into your marketing, into your business, into the way that you're growing and scaling, that is how you're going to implement and create that hell yes business. So what are we talking about today? Just to recap, we are talking about creating a marketing system that you're actually excited to show up for using your human design. And so the problem was, how do I show up and market when I'm really bored with my marketing or I'm burned out or I'm frustrated with the things that I'm doing? So if that is you, you can raise your hand, you can drop it in the comments. If that is me, I have been there multiple times. I have shown up, I have taken multiple strategies, I have implemented, I have burned out, I have maxed out and burned down multiple marketing strategies for myself because I've hit these roadblocks many times. So what is a couple of things you can do to get started if you're feeling that way with your business and with your marketing and with it, knowing that these are things that as businesses, unless you have a marketing team and ads budget to really like hand that off and outsource that to somebody else, if you're still in that phase where you're trying to really hone in on your message, figure out how you're designed to show up for your people, how you're designed to create the content, build that community, build those relationships. And all of these are still, no matter what level in business you get to, you still want to infuse pieces of you in the things that are going out to the world to call in the people, to call in those soul aligned clients for your business. So first tip and first takeaway I want you guys to walk away with as we kind of cover this is number one, if this is kind of how you're feeling about your marketing, tip number one I have is to use the skills and the tools that you already have. Why is that important? If you've been in business for any length of time, odds are you've probably taken some courses, been in some programs, gotten some strategies, gotten some checklists. You've already accumulated some amount of tools. You've already tried to implement different systems. And that's why you're feeling this way, because you've gotten the things, you've tried all the things, and you're still hitting these roadblocks, right? So it's not this is important because it's not a matter of continuing to try new things, more things, better things. It's really about honing in and figuring out the right things that work for you. And I highly recommend that you start with what you've already done in the past, because what you've already done in the past is going to indicate to you the things that did work for you and the things that don't work for you. And that's kind of what happens then. And what I do see with the clients that I work with is that they have a way that they were taught to market their business, or they have a system that they've been trying to implement. And there's pieces of that they truly enjoy, but there's other pieces that they don't. So either the pieces that they don't like, the things that they don't like to do for their marketing, either don't get done, and they only show up for part of the marketing that they're trying to implement, and the other part just doesn't get done, or none of it gets done. So this is where I really highly recommend you go backwards, like reflect, look back on what you've already done to market your business. And really you can start to almost like brainstorm, like, okay, what has worked for me? Like I've got this system from this program. I've got this system from this coach. I've got this system from this course that I took. I've tried this, I've tried that. What are you trying right now? Like, what are you doing right now that's working for you? And what are you doing right now that's not working for you and likely maybe isn't getting done, or it's really draining for you to get it done. And so that's about really finding in and honing in on what the right activities are, the right tasks are. The second tip I have for you guys is craft a plan based on the bigger picture. So a lot of marketing strategies from my experience is they hand like a list, like you'll get a checklist of do all of these things. And it's usually like, it's very, sometimes very generic, very vague, but it's like you have to do all of these things and then you'll have success in your business. You'll hit your results. All the things, all the promises. I recommend just looking at the bigger picture, like a bird's eye view of different categories and different categories to cover. So if you look at your marketing as like different buckets that you're putting different ideas into these different buckets, okay? So let's say one of those buckets does include like your content, your visibility. So visibility is a bucket, right? So what are all of the things you can do from a marketing perspective to get visible? This includes the platforms you are feeling like, these includes the platforms you're going to be showing up on. This includes the type of content you're going to create, the format of the content you're going to create. Is it long form content? Is it, is it search engine based? Is it social media based? Is it video based? Like, what are all of the ideas that go into that visibility bucket? So kind of think in terms of like these bigger categories. And from there, you can list out, this is where you pull in the pieces and the things that have worked for you and put those in these different buckets. So if you think along the lines of like, and the buckets can shift and change a little bit depending on what your experience is. But for me, I have noticed just across the board, no matter what program, what coach, what course, what checklist, there's these different categories. So you've got to be visible. So creating things that and ideas to create more visibility for yourself and your business. And that can include ads, that can include like connecting on like podcasting, guest interviews, speaking, all of this goes under visibility. Like these are all different ideas you can put in there. New connections. So new people coming into your world, you going out and creating new connections with different people. So that newness factor of pulling more people into your world is going to help grow like from that audience perspective. But again, what are the ideas that can go into that bucket for like new connections? And the other one would be like just building and nurturing and growing relationships. What are the ideas that can go in there? So like if you think of your marketing in just these buckets, you can really start to hone in and put your ideas in there. And this ties in with your human design, because your human design is a piece of creating that awareness of what's working and what's not, and what ideas are in alignment with your unique design to go in each of these buckets to create. Can you see how you're starting to create and craft your marketing plan? And so maybe there was something on the checklist that was like a part of the visibility that you need for your business, but what they were telling you to do wasn't something that was in alignment for you. So then it's like, okay, well, what other ideas? How else can we work on that bucket so that you can have that strategy that works for you, and you're not just completely ignoring the visibility part of your business. So just kind of an idea for that, because what you decide goes in those buckets is going to sink, and it syncs really well with the growth of your business. The third tip for you guys today is make sure that you are then implementing this plan with full permission to refine it, adjust it, and continue forward with it. So implement it and refine it. Why is this important? Well, because if you continue to experiment with your marketing system, you're going to be less likely to be inconsistent with it, because it's not like you're not going to hit a roadblock as you're building your own marketing system and say, okay, well, this didn't work for me, so I'm just not going to do it. You're going to be able to say, okay, well, this didn't work for me. It's over in this area. It's with this piece of information, or it's with this idea. How can I tweak it? How can I refine it? How can I replace it? And then implement that different tweak or refinement into my marketing strategy next week. So then you're consistently refining, and over time, you're going to build something that really works for you, that resonates with you, that is as simple or as complex as you want, that is structured or as free flowing as you want. But you're hitting these key pieces of your marketing in ways that work for you. So it's almost like you have like the outer frame. Like if you're building a house, you have the framing of the house. So that's what you have, but you get to decide the roof that goes on it. You get to decide the siding. You get to decide all the decor and the furniture that goes on the inside. You get to this is kind of the main structure framework, but you get to decide the layout, the floor plan, everything that goes inside of it, so that you end up with a living space that you love and that works for you, versus somebody building you a cookie cutter house, handing it to you and telling you to live in it, right? So that's kind of where when we take and rely 100% on marketing strategies and systems that other people hand us, yes, it's a good starting point, but tying in and tapping into your human design to figure out what's in alignment for you and what's not, what to say yes to, what to say no to, what to include in the marketing plan, how you're going to implement that marketing plan. All of those little things are very unique to you and your own custom like human design. So that's where, if you start to dive into your human design chart, it makes this whole process so much more clear for you. So when you come up with these different ideas, you're able to implement this marketing system with so much more confidence, and you're able to, and when you hit these roadblocks or this like points of opportunities to improve the system or to make it more custom to you, you have more confidence to be able to say, okay, this isn't working for me. I know this about me, so therefore I'm going to refine it and tweak it in just this little way. And then we're going to try that. And you're going to step back out into your marketing with those adjustments and just feeling a little bit more confident in the things that you're doing. Okay. So again, I hope this was helpful for you guys today. Remember, when it comes to your marketing, it's not always, it's not the system, the marketing strategy. It's the marketing strategies that are out there that are working and are proven. They're working, but they might just be working for somebody else. And it's not you. It's just a matter of you just aren't designed to fit into that marketing strategy box. You're designed to think outside the box and to create something that is a hell yes for you, so that you are excited and like feeling free and feeling like full of energy to show up for the marketing task and the marketing things that you're doing for your business, because it's created and crafted in a way that that's designed for you. So thank you so much for joining me. And again, if these tips brought up more questions than answers, because obviously the more you dive into your human design, and when you take your human design type, your strategy, and your authority, key pieces of your chart, these steps, these tips, like you can take them and implement them now, but if you dive into your human design a little bit deeper, you're just going to have more of that clarity. You're going to have more of that confidence, and you're going to be able to take action and implement so much more of a clear and simple way. So if you have more questions for this whole topic of how do I get started with my human design, how do I understand more about myself so that I can implement these tips just a little bit more honed in on myself, click the link that comes with this video, and that will help you get started with your human design. It'll walk you through grabbing your human design chart, a couple of the key pieces of information that you can get started with, and then starting to apply that to the information in this video. And then also, if you start to implement that and you still have questions you're not quite sure of, hit reply to any email that I send you, or that email with that getting started guide, and ask me your questions, and I am happy to give you some clarity or answer them and get you going so that you can implement and create a marketing system that is a hell yes for you to show up for. So, all right, guys, thank you so much for joining me live this week. I will be back next week with another episode of Your Business in HD. Thank you guys so much. Talk to you soon. Bye, everyone.